We are painting animal faces today, and we're going to use shapes, circles and triangles, cylinders and cones, different types of shapes. Hopefully you watched the drawing videos before, so you know how to do this. We did a lot of shape drawings. So this time we're going to do the shape drawing with a paintbrush, and then we're going to paint in the shapes. So I want you to go online and find a face of a tiger, a giraffe, a cat, a dog, whatever you would like to paint, and look at it closely to see if you can show or figure out where the triangles and the circles and the circle, little shape, this. And now this has got lots of circles in it. There's another shape here and a shape here, but very basic shapes are fun to do. This is a painting that one of my students did with their shape study. So on this painting, we are going to tape it down. This is again, I had some paper that I've used, and I just took the gesso and painted the gesso over top of that painting that I did not want to keep. This is canvas paper, and whenever we use canvas paper, we tape it down to a board, a backboard, to make it so that it's not floppy, so that we can stand it up and we can paint on it. Painting at an easel is really the best way to do your paintings. Flat on a table, it doesn't, you can't really get a good perspective when you're looking at your painting. But if you're eye level, if you are looking eye level with your canvas or your canvas paper, it works better. I have decided I'm going to paint a cat's face and his body. So I've got my picture here, and I've got my egg carton with my colors in it. Now, I do not have any black, so I probably need, with this painting, I'm going to need to get some black. So let me see where the black is. Right here. Okay, so I'm going to squirt some black out in my egg carton. Now, just black and white is kind of boring, so I would rather you not use just black and white to make gray. But you'll see as I go what I'm doing here. I'm going to start out first with circles. And you could put a background color, a solid color on first, or you can just start out with it white. And you can use any color, but you don't want a real black, a real dark color. You want a light color to give you the idea that this kitty is peeking around a corner here. So that's going to be my corner. And that's this thing right here. And then I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to do circles. There's a circle for his face and a triangle for his ear. He's got a little circle. Now that looks like a pig, but he's got a nose and a mouth and some eyes that are down here on the bottom of his face. Now I'm not going to really paint that circle in, but I wanted to put it there to show you that that's the little muzzle, the part of the cat, and you put the eyes in really close to that, not way up here on the top of his head, because he's got these stripes and pretty grays and white and black up in here, and then his ears are really big. The bottom part is going to be a big oval here with two little paws coming down here. So maybe it's going to come back behind this. So it's going to be, we're going to fill that in as a shape right in there, coming out and then back in. All right, so you're probably going to paint that background first. That can be a solid color, or it could be something back there that you could make up. Being creative is wonderful. because I want to make this kitty stand out, I'm going to do a dark color. If your kitty is totally black, you might want to do a light color. You might want to contrast what's going on between the background and the foreground. But I'm going to do my kitty a lighter gray. So I'm going to do a really dark background back here. And I'm not going to take a long time to finish it or be very precise with it. So I'm going to scrub it in really quick. And I may go back and work on it more. Right now, I just want to get it around the cat so that you can see what my cat's going to look like. So I'm just going to put it in like this really fast and come back and work on it later. The other part of this, the barn door, the barn wood, whatever it is over here on the other side, is kind of a gray color. I'm going to put that in, make it a little lighter. Sometimes you can, if you've got something too dark, you can add the white right on your paper. That's not what you do most of the time. Most of the time you mix it in on your palette. But I'm going to get it light. Got it started to a little bit too dark. Need to get it lighter. I'm going to really lighten that edge because the cat's going to be a little darker back here. All right, then I want to take my black and I want to start where I see black. Where do I see black? Right along that edge, I see a lot of black. All right, so I'm going to come in here and darken this edge where my cat is sitting. I'm going to darken that part of his face. I'm going to always start with your darkest areas when you're painting. So I'm squinting my eyes. You're going to have to squint a lot to see where these dark areas are. And you start very loosely. You know, you don't start real tight. You don't want to have everything looking perfect at first. This is the part that a lot of students don't like. They'll say, oh my goodness, that looks awful. But that is actually how you are supposed to start. Here's two legs in here that I want to have some little bit of stripes on, and then it's a little lighter here. I see some stripes going across here, and his little mouth is down here, and he's got some black in the middle of his eyes right in here. All right, now I'm going to do some gray. I've got a little bit of black on my brush, but I'm putting it up here in some of the colors, the greeny colors that I have, so that it won't be such a boring color. And I'm going to put a little bit of gray up here on his ears. I'm going to put some gray in here. We can get some texture on him, a little bit of gray here. Grays down here. Fuzzy, fuzzy. The white is the last thing I'm going to put in there. That's going to be the very last thing. Maybe I'm going to go back with a little bit more black in the middle here, right where those legs come down into the middle. Maybe show a little more fur around here. Some more dark back in here. All right, now I'm going to do the white. I have to wash my brush out for this because you definitely cannot paint white with a dirty brush. So I'm trying to wash it out, dry it on a paper towel. Do not leave a ton of water in your brush when you're painting. You can paint with a damp brush, but you don't want to paint with a drippy, drippy wet brush. All right, so around his ears, there's some white, and there's some little white fuzz, and little white in here. There's white around his eyes. Let's see if I can get the white around his nose and his eyes. Let's see, here and here. And then with an animal, you put a little white dot in their eye to kind of make it kind of look like they're coming alive here. The white goes down around his little chin. There's little white puffy cheeks in here and a little bit of white on his chin. And then you've got a little bit of a pink nose. His nose is pink, so I'm going to go in here and put a little bit of pink on the top of his nose in here. Get his nose a little bigger. And his little mouth in here. He's smiling. Okay, and then whiskers with your liner, with your brush that's very, very, very skinny. You can do some white whiskers, but you put your wet brush into the white paint and roll it around so that the paint goes all the way down to the very tip of the brush. And then you go ahead and you put those big white whiskers. Don't push hard on your brush. I've got my little pinky kind of on the painting so that I'm bracing my hand so that I'm not doing some really hard pushing hard on my brush. If you push too hard, you're going to get elephant whiskers. I still want to have a little more white in here. Some white as it comes down into the middle here. Some white that kind of goes around his legs here and here. I think that ear needs to go up a little higher over here. I probably need to kind of block in some of this white over here with a gray. And I just messed up my whiskers a little bit, but you see that my kitty is coming along. The more you work on the kitty, the more time you take working on him, the better he's going to be. So painting you start off very, very loose, and you keep getting tighter and tighter, and you keep working a little bit more and more and more into this area that you've got here, and keep working on details. His face is coming down too low, so I'm going to go back, and this is a good time to make some changes. You don't want such a big chin. It's got a very small chin in here. And then see if you can get more fur, a little more fuzz and fur. And keep working on texture. Texture is really important as you finish up your painting. Now, some of you will do really a lot better than me in this, because you will really take your time and work on it diligently until you get it exactly the way you like it. But at this point, you can keep working into your areas, your ears, your texture of the kitty up in here, more fuzz. He does need a little bit more of a black line around his eyes. If you look at a kitty's eyes, you'll see that and I didn't put the color into the eyes either. Okay, so I still need some white under this eye. And I need some color in the eyes. White here. A little more gray coming into the nose here on this side and this side. A little bit of gray coming down here. Some more whiskers. And let's get some yellow eyes, some kind of yellowy green eyes, maybe more green. Let's see. So if I go with some yellow green here and here and here and here, look at his eyes, aren't they cute? So you keep working until you get your kitty the way you want him to look. Don't give up, don't get discouraged. I'm going to do a few more whiskers over here. Just because I like these whiskers, I can do some little whiskers up here. Kitties have whiskers over their eyes. I get a little bit of a blob right there. Just use your finger, take off the blobs, and just make him look really cute. So you try to do it even better than I did it, but start loose. Start with your background colors, your light or your dark, and then go with your black, your darker colors, especially on your animals. Squint your eyes to see where the dark colors are. And then after you do the dark colors, start putting on the gray or the midtones, and the white really should be the very last. The very, very light colors should be last. So, and then on your background, you can make up, you could put a little mouse down here, you could have a mouse hole where he's waiting for the mouse to come out. You could have a little bowl of water here, you could have just all kinds of whatever you want to have back here. So, or you could put books, lots of books. Maybe he's sitting in a bookshelf with all your books lined up right here. So then, tell a story. What's his name? His name is Bella, and he loves to chase mice and to go around the table with your brothers and sisters and start a story about the cat who was hiding behind the door because and then pass it on to the next person so that you all can have fun with your paintings. I love telling stories about paintings. See you next time. Bye.